Spray cans, do you have a lot of spray cans? They're just kind of in drawers, hanging around, no real organization. Yeah, there's that comes into play. Before I moved to Korea, I had a garage, workshop, the whole 9 yards, and I had a ton of spray paint cans. And it ends up, they just ended up cluttering shelves, and you reach for one, you knock a bunch over. There was no organization. And back then, I really wish that there was something that could organize all that stuff. The problem is I wasn't into 3D printing back then, so it was kind of an unsolved problem. It just, yeah. But now there is a solution. I want to show you what I've ended up finding from Ferrithus on Creality Cloud, and we're going to take a look at that right here. So this is it, the honeycomb spray can storage. And basically what he ended up doing, as you see there, he ended up making a honeycomb, a kind of a cool honeycomb deal thing that, yeah. Oh, it's even got it in 3D. Let's check this out. So yeah, that is a pretty cool little setup there. So 3, 6, 9, you can do 9 cans. Looks like we've got a couple of holes there that you could either screw. He also mentions how you could get like some 3M tape or whatever. But nice. I like it. So I thought that was good enough, and I purchased this. I think it was like 29. It was like 99 cents, and I was like, hey, I'm going to get this because I definitely want to get that. I need some organization. I mean, that's what it looks like. So with that being said, I loaded that up last night, and we printed it out. So we're going to take a look and see how it came out. So here it is, and the wonderful K2 Plus that popped up, 11 hours and 42 minutes, 256 grams, and I did it at 0.2 layer height. He recommended 0.3, but I did 0.2. I was lazy, and we got a bit of a stringing here, but this isn't normal because this right here is a different filament besides what I normally use. So I guess I need to get a blowtorch, but yeah, that's it right there. Boom. And we even had one little, oh, we got some screw holes and stuff. And then we had one tiny support. Boom. Bonus. So that printed out pretty good, despite the stringing, but the only reason I got that stringing is because of I didn't calibrate that filament because I only had one roll of it. And there it is. So what we can end up doing is we can take this and we can undermount it. Okay, so we can undermount it. So he's got some screw holes in there at an angle, which is pretty nice. Same thing on the other side. Sweet. And then, yeah. So you can either hang it underneath. I mean, you could probably hang it on the wall if you wanted to. You could do something like that and have your cans. Or you could have it under a table, kind of like that, and you could do your paint storage like that, or you could end up doing it like that. And I have a few cans of paint. So with that, let's check this out. See if we can get this going. Now here's the question, is I printed this out and I was like, I didn't even check the dimensions to see if paint cans would fit in it. So you're seeing it, does it work? Yes, it does. Yes, it does. Nice. And even at 0.2, that works out pretty good. And I got a few more cans in here. So we got this one, we got that one, this one, we got that one. So we've got more. Paint filler, brown, and some more paint filler, and I think I got one more can. some lacquer, and boom, there it is. So there it is. Ends up looking pretty good. Man, that has got some weight to it when you got some full cans. So yeah, that definitely is sturdy. So that's pretty good. Nice, I like it, I like it. And then this is something I printed. I'm getting this, and this is for my daughter. So printed this out, did a little bit of, I did this at 0.16. So I'm gonna see if I can get some more spray paint. Matter of fact, get some metallic gold and see if I can get this looking like a real badge to see what we can do there. So we're doing that. So yeah, there it is. That's what we end up having. Pretty cool, pretty cool. And then of course we get back into the room. A little bit of update. We did get the IKEA cabinet there. So we got that. And of course we got some lights, and the video quality has gotten a lot better since I've been kind of put in some lighting. I got some ring light stuff. Those are super cheap, but I'm eventually going to get some better stuff. But the lighting has turned out so much better, so much better. So, and to kind of, well, I would show you, but the problem is that the lights and everything are on my phone. So, but yeah, if I did something like that, and then it ends up, what else we got? Oh yeah, I got the fill and the key light, and then I got the hair light back there. We got that going on, and so, and the lighting, and of course with the phone, I can't end up doing that stuff, but the video quality that I've had is way better than what I've had before. And matter of fact, let me show you what I'm talking about and kind of give you a before and after of what my videos used to look like. So let's take a look. Okay, so that's normally what my videos would look like. That's what the setup was before, is we had the paint station behind me. It ended up that was, you know, pretty much washed out in the background. Not a lot of color in the face, not, you know, no good lighting as far as, you know, just the overhead light with no diffusion and all that stuff. Just basically the room light and the computer screen shining in my face and washing out. Well, after I ended up getting some of these lights in here, what I ended up doing is watching some videos on YouTube. Imagine that, retired and watching YouTube videos. What are the odds? And I incorporated some practical lights, and boom, that's what we ended up getting now. So amazing on the difference as far as the quality of going from that to that. It makes a huge difference. Big before and after. Big before and after. So we're going to keep going on and moving on with this. And this is just with, this isn't with the 4K Sony AX53. No, this is with a Logitech Brio. And that's the camera that I used, and the Blue Yeti microphone. But with that, you can end up going through, and let me see if I can pull that up. Might as well. And we'll take a look here. And so with this is what it looks like right now. And what I could end up doing is we could go through, let me move this stuff around. And maybe, we'll just go ahead and we'll throw that one on. We'll throw this one on. And we'll turn this one off. And I don't know if I can do the, but already it looks a heck of a lot better than what it used to. So of course I don't have a nicer shirt on or whatever, so it is what it is there. But with Ecamm Live, what I can go through and do is I can change some of these settings. You know, so I can adjust it, make it cold, I can make it pretty warm. I could change the saturation so it's really washed out. I'll make it black and white, and we can kind of get it down. And then even, even the gamma, or I guess you could call that the contrast. And then, you could play with the brightness a little bit. And if you throw in, I'm going to see if I don't know if this is going to stop the stream. So I'm going to see if I can turn on the colored lights. So hold on to your hats. We'll see how this. So now we've got our show going on, and now we've got our show going on, and it turns out it works pretty good. So with that, I can still make the adjustments. I can make it lighter, I can make it a little bit darker. Think about right there. I do need to work on some other stuff as far as like just getting a little bit more of the white balance. So I don't mess with the tint at all, but we could end up kind of doing stuff like that. And it makes a huge difference in regards to the quality of the video. So, and this is what we look like with just the iPhone, and no changing and everything. So the big difference between having the ability to change the coloring and the grading and stuff like that, and to use the lighting. So even though the lighting that I have works really well in this, I think it'd be nice if you could be able to adjust the there's my key light or my hair light up there. But it'd be nice if you could actually kind of like do LUTs with Apple and kind of get a more refined look, kind of like what we do with Ecamm Live. The other upgrade that I'm going to end up getting is going to be basically the, where am I looking at? Okay, is basically going to get an Elgato Facecam 4K. And that has a lot of different features that we could end up changing, manipulating the settings for, all the colors and the brightness and the whites, and setting your white balance, and hopefully the ISO and all that stuff, and even the f-stop. I'm not sure if you can change the f-stop. But yeah, it ends up, it turns out pretty good. So I'm liking it. I'm digging it. Like I said, huge difference between what we end up seeing here and then what we end up seeing with the face cam or the webcam. So yeah, let's see if we can get rid of that. Yeah, but yeah, huge difference in regards to the quality of the video that you got going on using Ecamm Live. And I have the legacy version. So Ecamm Live right now is a subscription-based video service. So you can do your live streaming, you can have multiple cameras if your computer can handle it. My Mac can, it used to be handled 3 or 4, but after Sequoia update, and it kind of knocked it down, and I can get like 2 camera feeds. So we're going to incorporate a video switcher here pretty soon, and that way all the cameras will go into the video switcher, and then the out from the video switcher to the computer will be one. So it'll think it's like one feed instead of having to process, 3 or 4 or 2 cameras. So that should kind of alleviate some of the hard work that the Mac Mini needs to do. So that'll be a good thing as well. And hopefully that will alleviate some of the problems with like the audio and the visual sync that we have problems with from time to time. And usually I have to just go into Ecamm Live and I have to reset it, close it, start it up again, and those problems end up going away. So works out pretty good. But that's what we got going on. Like I said, what we ended up doing is printing that little paint rack thing from Ferrithus on Creality Cloud. So definitely check that out. He's got a few other models on there, and I like the functional stuff. So that'll be a welcome thing. And I might mount that underneath the table. So that way it clears space from that workspace, because I don't want to put a bunch of stuff on there and then have limited workspace. So I think I'll end up taking that and putting it under the desk, and boom, it'll be good. And like they say in Australia and the UK, Bob's your uncle. So that's what we end up having there. I guess I could save that. Save project as repaint storage hexes, and we will put that into the folder, the appropriate folder. Where is it? Creality Cloud. There we go. I'll just save that and we're good to go, and we can close that out. So anyway, that's what we got going on. Some of the other things going on, I'm going to be crazy. I'm going to be reviewing this right here. This is the new Cheeto Systems VAT replacement system, where you can change your FEP in a matter of seconds, like 20, 30 seconds. You can change out your FEP with this. I know I've been deficient in my duties. I've been a pogue. But I'm going to get this video out this week, which is today's Thursday, so I'm probably going to get this done today or tomorrow. We'll see what happens. Definitely, and it'll definitely post on Monday. But this is the Cheeto Systems HOPAT.
There's nothing scheduled for the rest of today.
Okay, that's good. But it's for the Photon Mono X, the X6K, the X2, the M3 Plus, and then for the Saturn 2, 3, and Saturn 3 Ultra. And then they have the same version for the Photon Mono M5, M5S, M5S Pro. So yeah, it's a whole new VAT system, and it makes changing your FEP incredibly easy. So we got that. The other recent thing that we ended up doing is getting and making a cell phone teleprompter. You can also find this on Creality Cloud on my site. I'll put a link to it. But what we ended up doing is making this housing, and we used a piece of 4x6 glass that I got from a picture frame, just a 4x6, and slide the glass in there that you can see there. And we have enough room for a cell phone with some extra space. So for the iPhone 13 Pro Max can fit in there, and then we got some with a case on. And then, you know, the little cutouts here, we've got a hole on the bottom, which I'm waiting for some knurled threads to come in so it'll accept a 1/4-20, so we can mount this on like a tripod or, you know, something like that. And then the other cool thing that we ended up doing is, I didn't print this out. That's a Falcam F38, but with this, with that slot, we're able to slide the camera back and forth on that. And then of course with this thing, you know, if this is on the bottom of your camera, you can just go ahead and boom, slide that in there. This will accommodate webcams that have 1/4-20s on the bottom, and even large handy cams. So like the Sony FDR AX53, which is a 4K webcam that came out super long time ago, but it's still like $700 or $800. And then the other one we ended up with this back is we created some slots, some rails on this piece here that stick out and go into these rails, so that way this slides up and down and it doesn't flop around. And then we just kind of did some 1/4-20s, we did some little handles on there, and boom, there it is. So, and I was thinking, you know, because this sits down so low, maybe I could end up making like a stand or something. I don't know. It's probably overkill. As long as you got the 1/4-20, I think that should be good enough, and people can figure out and get a tripod or whatever, and they can set that up at eyeball height, and boom, you're able to read your teleprompter on your cell phone with an app. And the great thing is it's small and it can fit on a desk. So if you're a desktop creator, a talking head type of person, besides all of the videos and the lights, and you know, you could do your script and you could use your phone as a teleprompter, and you don't have to pretend, you know, read off a computer screen, and it can minimize the glare and things like that. So yeah, and it's just regular glass, so you'll get a little bit of double exposure, as the script is going on the teleprompter, but it's readable and it's cheap. So I think for that, it ended up the total cost for what I paid for a roll of filament here in Korea. I think it was like $6 and some change, like $6.30 or 40 cents, maybe 50 cents. Yeah, huge, huge savings. If you look at cell phone, let's see if we can pull out cell phone teleprompter. Let's go to Amazon and see what we get there. I haven't even checked this. Cell phone teleprompter. And holy crow. This is crazy. So let's take a look. I'll show you what I mean at the cell phone teleprompters. This is a reason why I ended up making this. Oops. So look at some of the prices of these things. Now, of course, you're going to have a variety of these. But let's take a look at this one. $249. Mine was like $6.37, $6.50 by the time you throw in some nuts and screws and stuff like that. Here's another one there, $160. $249, but that has a wired screen there, so it has its own program and everything, so I can kind of understand that. This one's $48, so that's a little bit better, but still, that's basically $50, and mine was $6.50. There's one for $83, used to be $119. Again, it's just a holder with some glass, and it might have some high-speed glass. $200, $160. That one's a high-speed, low drag. I think it's got, $500. There's $50 one right there. Of course, that's got a remote. 129. So yeah, 59. Of course, that's got a remote. 53 at 90, 159. So yeah. And then, of course, is that really a teleprompter? I don't know. It's, but it still can't beat my $6 teleprompter price. So, yeah, when you're talking some big numbers there in regards to buying a cell phone teleprompter, probably the best thing that you could do is find one online that you could print out with a 3D printer, and boom, you're good. If you're wondering where you can find that at, let me go ahead and pull this up and I'll show you. So if you go onto Creality Cloud, like we see here, the Varied Life, there we've got my other models. And so there is the free 3D printed cell phone teleprompter that we have there. We've got a paint rack for Army painters. We got another wall mounted paint rack, which can accommodate a bunch of others. And we get some other models in here, paintbrush holders, airbrush holders. But yeah, this is the free cell phone holder. So in case you're wondering and you would like to get a cell phone teleprompter, made that in Tinkercad, and yeah, it just ends up, it works out pretty good. So yeah, some good stuff. Got some L bracket action going on there. There it is with the full size Sony, and yeah, there it is on the plate and the orientation of how it's supposed to be printed. So yeah, just ended up, it's a pretty cool little project. Got the information on there. I think it was like $6.50 in PLA with some screws. And then my YouTube page, which is The Varied Life, and help support the channel, but it's absolutely free. And the print settings are 0.2 with 3 walls at 15% gyroid, and it worked out pretty good. So, even though it took an inordinate amount of time to make this, and I've had like 5 different versions until I got to this version here and published this one. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with this. And again, this can accommodate, handheld camera, which is pretty nice, like the Sony AX53. I've put webcams on here, and yeah, it works. It works. It definitely works. So the only thing I'm waiting for is those knurled thread to go in there that you put in with a soldering iron. So I ordered some of those. Those should come in, and then we'll be able to put this. But yeah, I put my cell phone on here, ran the little teleprompter script, and boom, it works. So if you want to read a script and you can't stay on point and you ramble too much like I do, you could get a cell phone teleprompter, and that'll help you out. You might want to back out the back of this, because if the camera, kind of like, let me show you. You know, if we put in like a webcam like that, you're going to have all this ambient light where these holes are at. So you could probably just cover this up, drape it with a black cloth or whatever, you know, or print out a TPU, you know, make your own and make it really cool. That could work out pretty good. So that's what we got going on. Having some fun doing lighting, really looking forward to getting the video switcher that's going to be coming into play. That way this washed out video that you're watching now can be a hell of a lot better. But yeah, I wanted to show you that little print that we finished with the spray can holder and then the cell phone teleprompter thing, and yeah, just real impromptu type of stuff. So anyway, be sure to like and subscribe to the channel. I would really appreciate that. That would be the best thing that you could do for me and my channel. If you have a channel, send me a link and I will like and subscribe to your channel as well. Help each other out. That's what it's all about. And if you have anything that can make me a better 3D printer, miniature painter, American overseas expat, boom, hit that as well. So with that, we're going to close that out and finish this video. So thanks for watching, and see you on the next one. Peace. Alrighty. Finish video. Yes, I want to stop streaming.